Alright, John, I'm here trying to answer the questions you had about the tank, about the skimmer, whatever you wanted to learn, or hear about, or ask. I hope I answer. Pardon the up-close selfie. Anyway, here we go. Alright, so this is my tank. Yada yada. Doing its thing. So, down below, I've got two pumps. I've got a pump back here. That's my return pump. And then I've got a pump right here. That's the feed pump for my skimmer. Now, my drains from the tank come down through these big 1.5-inch pipes here into the sump, through 2 filter socks, and then the skimmer pump is right there to suck it back to the skimmer. So that goes through the wall. Pardon the mess. It's this lower pipe here. Comes along and just hose barbed off to a soft vinyl hose, you can see there. It's kind of ghetto at the moment because I'm going to be replacing all this extra piping and running 2 media reactors right here where this bucket's at behind the skimmer. So I have a drain line plumbed here into the main drain from the skimmer, and then I also have extra pipe here to feed those, and then I also have a feed here that's off the main return pump as a second feed coming back here, probably just for water changes. But anyway, it's hose barbed at the skimmer right off the pump. And I use the vinyl tubing because these pumps vibrate quite a bit, and I worry about down at the bulkhead where it hits the acrylic box that any extra vibration down there just isn't good for the acrylic. So that's why I use the vinyl. It helps dampen some of that vibration, and I think Steve would recommend that. He would also give you a skimmer as a custom build. Right in here he would give you a threaded fitting versus the hose barb coming off it, if you would like that. And that's totally up to you, but again, I recommend the vinyl anyway. So coming out of it, this is the output side. I always request on any Beckett skimmer the gate valve, and then off of that I just put a union and then 1.5-inch piping down to a coupler, which increases it to 2 inches. Let's see if it'll focus. There we go. And then again off of that I also have this line eventually where I'm going to put the drains from my media reactors. So there's one drain line then going back through the wall, and this is clear on the far side back at the top. You probably can't even see it from this angle. Anyway, let me focus on something different in here. Pump. So one other thing that I would recommend on the intakes for these pumps, and probably for any pump like this in general, external pump, is these rubber couplers. They're repair couplings, and they're only, I can't find them smaller than 1.5 inches, and this isn't wanting to focus on anything. Not sure what's up with that. Anyway, I recommend those because they just dampen the, come on, focus. There we go. They dampen the vibration from these pumps so you don't have all that vibration going back to the tank. And I also put on this side. That one kind of bows because it's under pressure. Kind of worried about it, but so far so good. Anyway, that's really it, man. It's pretty simple. This is the main return. The sump kind of makes an L shape. So it comes down. Okay, the first chamber is the filter socks. It's behind this leg. And then the second chamber is actually, that's the drain from the skimmer where it's coming down into this chamber. And that first chamber is an under baffle, so there's water that can get back to the skimmer intake. So it kind of recirculates that water in there to some degree. Anyway, it comes back and makes an L shape and comes back around to the return pump, where it's split back up through the overflow and comes out the penductors on either side. I ran my sock, or my sump without a filter sock for about 8 hours, and that built up. There's really none in the tank to speak of, so that means that my water flow is at the moment sufficient to keep everything suspended and bring it back down to the sump. But it really sucks that I ran it without the filter socks, because now I got to vacuum that out. Filter socks are always the way to go, in my opinion. Anyway, it's not the cleanest, but that's that. Later.